He doesn't even see you. I laughed arrogantly, deliberately provoking Li Qian with every word. As expected, Li Qian's face turned even uglier. I lifted my chin and continued in the same tone. The whole capital knows I'm engaged to Su Wanli. Yet Song Jingnian still went after her knowingly. Shut up, Li Qian roared, raising her hand to strike me. A storm surged in my eyes, and just as I was about to counter, a cold voice shouted, Li Qian, try laying a finger on him. Su Wanli walked in against the light. Li Qian's fist froze mid-air. When she turned to look at Su Wanli, her eyes were full of unwillingness and defiance. I blinked, a little surprised. Why was Su Wanli here? As she walked over, the people surrounding me instinctively backed away. Su Wanli walked straight up to me. Her eyes involuntarily scanned me, trying to make sure I was okay. I pressed my lips together slightly, feeling a bit annoyed. So irritating. Why did she come over? I was just about to teach these people a lesson. Now great. I have to maintain my image. Hearing my inner thoughts, Su Wanli relaxed. But hearing my utterly disdainful tone, Su Wanli was a little annoyed. She rushed over worried I'd be bullied, without even drying her hair. And in the end, she didn't even get a thank you, just complaints. Li Qian also didn't expect Su Wanli to show up. She pulled her hand back, eyes fixed firmly on Su Wanli. In that moment, my thoughts raced. Then with a leap, I darted behind Su Wanli, grabbing the hem of her shirt at the waist. Su Wanli, thank goodness you're here. If you come a second later, you'd be collecting my corpse. This Li Qian came on behalf of Song Jingnian to teach me a lesson. Now, do you see clearly? He's nothing but a two-faced traitor. Acts all innocent in front of you, but behind your back sends people after me. I rattled on like a machine gun. But my mind wasn't at ease. Another chance to badmouth Song Jingnian in front of Su Wanli. I'm putting in so much effort here. Su Wanli, you'd better start hating me already. Su Wanli remained silent, not intending to interrupt. But when Li Qian heard me slandering Song Jingnian like that, she immediately yelled, stop spouting nonsense. I just can't stand you. This has nothing to do with Song Jingnian. Standing behind Su Wanli, I mockingly repeated Li Qian's words. Has nothing to do with Song Jingnian. Such blind devotion. I'm honestly impressed. Haven't you heard? A simp always ends up with nothing in the end. Why are you so smug? Has Song Jingnian ever even looked at you properly? You're pathetic, and don't even realize it. Just wait until you find out that Song Jingnian was only using you as a shield. If the Li family goes bankrupt and ends up in jail, would you still be so loyal like a dog? Upon hearing this, Su Wanli subtly raised an eyebrow. She gave a meaningful look to the boy behind her. Li Qian was so enraged by my words that she lost her mind. She didn't care that Su Wanli was present, and immediately raised her hand to slap me. Su Wanli's expression darkened. She reached out and grabbed Li Qian's wrist. Her dark eyes stared coldly at Li Qian. Coming from a top-tier elite family, Su Wanli naturally carried an intimidating aura. Even without saying a word, she could make people feel immense pressure. When Li Qian met Su Wanli's gaze, her arrogance instantly vanished like water dousing a flame. Instead, a trace of fear rose in her heart. She tried to pull her hand back, but found that Su Wanli's grip was too strong. She couldn't break free at all. I was standing behind Su Wanli, so I couldn't see her expression at that moment, but I could clearly feel the chill radiating from her. Su Wanli, you've known Song Jingnian since childhood. Don't you know what kind of person he is? You're just going to let him slander like this? Li Qian angrily questioned. What does that have to do with me? Su Wanli flung Li Qian's hand away. Her voice was cold. Li Qian clutched her aching wrist and snapped. Song Jingnian likes you. Can't you tell? If you like him too, you should break off your engagement with this man. Don't let Song Jingnian's sincere heart be trampled. Wow. What a great moral coercion tactic. I underestimated that. That line should have been mine to say to Su Wanli. Noted. Next time for sure. Just as that thought passed, a slightly warm hand suddenly grabbed my wrist. Then, I heard Su Wanli say, mind your own business. Don't let me catch you bothering Zhao Yichen again. With that, Su Wanli pulled me away. leaving the hall with Li Qian and the others staring at each other in confusion. It was their first time seeing Su Wanli stand up for someone. Li Qian stared at their departing figures. Fuming, she turned and kicked over a nearby table. Through gritted teeth, she shouted, "Anyone with photos or videos of Zhao Yichen being bullied can come to me and get paid." Outside the hall, Su Wanli turned and walked away. I stood there in place, rolling my eyes at Su Wanli's back. "Who do you think you are? Why should I have to listen to you?" I scoffed. I turned and walked off in the other direction, replaying how Li Qian had just threatened me. My eyes glinted coldly. Li Qian, people who lay a hand on me usually end up with weeds growing over their graves. 2 days later, just before sunset's last light faded, I changed into a black tracksuit and wore a baseball cap, then arrived outside a bar called Nightfall. I had asked the system assistant Xiaolan beforehand. Li Qian and a bunch of rich heirs and heiresses love to hang out here. Once I arrived, I paid a waiter to deliver a message to Li Qian. After waiting a few minutes, the sky began to darken. Behind the bar, the lighting was dim. I leaned against the wall with one hand in my pocket. The street lamp above me flicked on just in time. A moment later, hurried footsteps approached from afar. I curled my lips slightly and pulled my cap lower. "The waiter said it was you?" Li Qian came alone and stopped a few meters away. She stared at the figure in black clothes and pants, her gaze probing, just as she spoke. She asked again, "Who are you? Why would Jingnian send you instead?" I let out a soft chuckle, deliberately lowering my voice. "If I hadn't said that, how else could I have lured you out?" Li Qian looked confused for a second, then realized what was going on. Her eyes flared with anger. "You're playing me." I stood up straight, my plastered hand hidden inside the oversized baseball jacket. My other hand was in my pocket, and I tilted my head to look at Li Qian with a tone full of provocation. "Yeah, I played you, so what?" Facing someone whose face she couldn't see, and whose identity was unclear. Hearing such provocative words, Li Qian gave a sarcastic laugh, clicking her tongue in annoyance. "Do you know who I am?" I replied impatiently. "Came here just to get beat up, huh?" I just gave a nonchalant "oh." Then mocked, "Song Jingnian's loyal lapdog, who else could it be?" Before Li Qian could respond, I deliberately dragged the tone, stretching it out. Should be asterisk traditional Chinese lapdog asterisk, right? Although Li Qian had never denied her one-sided affection for Song Jingnian, and didn't care when others called her a simp. Because in her eyes, everything she did was just her way of expressing her sincere feelings for Song Jingnian. But for some reason, at this very moment, hearing this person call her a simp sparked a surge of unexplainable rage inside Li Qian. She couldn't hold it and she threw a punch and charged at me. Her eyes were filled with fury. Perfect, that's exactly what I wanted. Seeing Li Qian completely lose her cool, I easily dodged her punch and grabbed the hand that had just missed my face. As a Li family member, Li Qian had trained since childhood to protect herself, learning to fight well. Her combat skills were part of what she always bragged about, and yet now, I dodged her attack with ease. That shocked Li Qian deep down. But I didn't give her time to react. A swift blow hit her stomach. She hunched over uncontrollably, groaning in pain. I didn't let her catch her breath. My fist went straight to her face. The sharp impact and pain left Li Qian completely stunned. Her brain went blank from the blow. Her body collapsed to the side from the momentum. Li Qian staggered and crashed into a nearby parked scooter. "Weren't you all arrogant just now? Why are you lying there like a dog now?" I stood not far away, continuing to provoke her. Li Qian glared at me viciously, trying hard to see my face clearly. At that moment, her mind was filled with that one phrase, being mocked like a dog. She lowered her eyes gloomily and glanced at the corner of the wall beside her. There she saw a few empty beer bottles. Her rage surged. Li Qian first grabbed a fallen helmet from the ground and threw it at me. Then she picked up an empty bottle and lunged forward. I dodged the flying helmet with a quick move, then saw her raising the bottle to strike. Instinctively, I lifted my other hand to block. The bottle smashed against the plaster cast and shattered. Seeing this, a thought flashed through Li Qian's mind. But before she could grasp it, she took another kick to the stomach. She staggered backward repeatedly. The thought that had just flickered by had completely vanished. Looking at me, she gritted her teeth and sneered. So you have a working hand, huh? I thought you were disabled. I brushed the broken glass off my sleeve and sneered back at her provocation. Even with one hand, I can beat you into a dog. Li Qian cursed angrily, and without another word, charged again. In the dim alley, cries of pain echoed nonstop as the sound of the fight faded. Only a woman's sobs remained. I stepped on Li Qian's stomach and bent down as she groaned in pain. Under the dim yellow light, my face came into view. But by now, Li Qian had already been beaten senseless. Her vision was blurry, and she couldn't even see who was in front of her. This was just a small lesson for today. If you keep clinging to Song Jingnian in the future, I'll beat you every time I see you. I deliberately left that threat hanging in the air, then glanced at the person on the ground with disdain. Li Qian, like a dead dog, and walked away without looking back. With the system's help, I avoided the surrounding surveillance cameras, hailed a cab, and prepared to return to school. Just as I was about to tell the driver the destination, I realized the newly replaced plaster cast had cracked again. I silently cursed it to myself. Then I said to the driver, "Sir, please take me to the hospital." At the hospital, I smiled awkwardly at the doctor. I really didn't get into a fight. I raised 3 fingers and solemnly swore again. As I was making my declaration, the doctor used tweezers to pull out a small shard of broken glass. I immediately shut up. The doctor gave me a helpless look and said sincerely, "You really don't want your hand to heal, do you? 1 or 2 more incidents like this, and it's hopeless." I immediately shook my head obediently and muttered weakly, "I just fell off my bike by accident this time." The doctor gave me a "do I look like I believe you?" expression. I figured I should probably just shut up, so I said nothing more. After the doctor restabilized the plaster cast and a few rounds of stern warnings, I bowed repeatedly and exited the treatment room, hurriedly heading toward the elevator. As the door opened, I was greeted by Zhao Qingyu, helping a handsome man in business attire out of the elevator. They stepped out together. The two of us locked eyes. Neither expected to run into the other. At this time, under such circumstances, "What are you doing here?" we asked in unison. The man beside Zhao Qingyu looked at us both with a puzzled expression. "Director Zhao, who is this?" Before he could finish, Zhao Qingyu pulled her hand away from him and dragged me aside. "You're supposed to be at school right now. What are you doing in a hospital?" Zhao Qingyu frowned and asked in an elder sibling tone. I blinked and obediently replied, "My stomach was upset. I came to get some medicine." Zhao Qingyu looked doubtful. Just as she was about to ask more, she heard my inner thoughts. The man Big Sis was holding just now, he must be the undercover agent planted by her enemy, right? Zhao Qingyu thought. When was I holding anyone? Wait, her eyes flashed with suspicion. She discreetly glanced at the man. Her secretary is the undercover? Just as that thought formed, Zhao Qingyu, she resisted the urge to ask more about it. Before she could think of what to say, a strange noise suddenly caught her attention. The two of us turned our heads toward the sound. We saw a shadow slip into the stairwell. Zhao Qingyu frowned slightly and said, "Stay right here." Then she walked straight over. I obediently stayed put. Smiling slightly, looks like someone's up to something again. Let's see what kind of trick it is this time. Upon hearing the noise, Zhao Qingyu had some doubts. Still, she went to the stairwell to take a look. But the person had already disappeared. She had no choice but to turn back. She called her assistant to accompany the secretary and decided to drive me back to school herself. On the way, Zhao Qingyu several times almost asked about the secretary's identity. She wanted to confirm it, but didn't want to expose the fact that she could hear her brother's thoughts. So she had to hold back. The car stopped in front of the school gate. Zhao Qingyu was about to give me a few more reminders, but I had already opened the door and jumped out. "Big sis, it's getting late. You should go home." With that, I ran off without looking back. Zhao Qingyu watched my retreating figure and sighed softly.